Between the Rangers and Tigers, Detroit led by big offense and surprise ace undefeated Max Scherzer.
That is right, Matt. Max Scherzer has been one of the big stories of baseball's first half. 13-0. Tonight, he tries to match Roger Clemens from 1986 when he started the season 14-0. Scherzer gets to take on the Texas Rangers here in Detroit. And welcome to Comerica Park, Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Texas Rangers and the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers won Game 1 last night, 7-2. And hello, everybody. Justin Kutcher alongside Mitch Williams. And Mitch, whenever people talk about this Detroit Tigers team, they talk about the offense, and rightfully so. Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder, Victor Martinez. When they talk about the pitching, it's Justin Verlander. But this year, there's a new kid on the block.
Well, there's no question there is a new kid on the block, and his name is Max Scherzer. He has been what this Tigers team has needed him to be all year long. At 13-0, he's looking to break Roger Clemens' record. I watched Roger set that record from the other side of the field. It was no fun. It's no fun if you're the opposing hitter facing Max Scherzer. He can light you up with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and control your bat speed with a Bugs Bunny changeup.
All right, well, he'll be opposed by a lefty for Texas and Derek Holland, who kind of came on the national stage in the 2011 playoffs. Where has he come since then?
You know what? I kind of look at him like I look at Max Scherzer from a couple years ago. He's a guy that at times he's brilliant, at times he struggles, and I think it all has to do with commanding your mechanics. Max Scherzer has complete command of his mechanics right now. If Derek Holland commands his lower body, he's going to be an all-star pitcher in the future.
Hey, speaking of all-stars, the all-star game is on Tuesday. We've got a preview of it here from Detroit today. 6 from the Tigers, 3 from the Rangers. They're all getting set for that all-star break and the all-star game at Citi Field on Tuesday night. It's the Rangers and Tigers. It's coming up next right here on Fox. Here at Comerica Park, 80 degrees, and that means it's time for the Taco Bell starting lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you got to live Moss here for the Rangers. Ian Kinsler will lead things off and play second. Leonis Martin will bat second and play center. Nelson Cruz, the All-Star, in right bats third. Adrian Beltre at third base will bat cleanup. The catcher, A.J. Pierzynski, bats fifth. Elvis Andrus will play short and bat sixth. Mitch Moreland at first, bats seventh. Jurickson Profar will DH and bat eighth. And David Murphy will play left field and bat ninth. And they will face Max Scherzer, 13-0, a 3.06 ERA, 146 strikeouts in 123 2/3 innings.
And you know what, Justin, the scouting report on Max Scherzer, above average fastball. By that I mean he's going to throw it from 91 to 98. And then he has that Bugs Bunny changeup. And by that I mean he has the arm speed of his fastball, and the ball simply does not get there.
The opening pitch is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. We're all set here on this beautiful July evening as Ian Kinsler will step in to face Scherzer. 299 home runs, 36 RBIs on the season for the second baseman for the Rangers as he takes the fastball inside for ball one.
And you know what, Justin, this is what I think that Scherzer has learned a lot from Verlander. That's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball to start the game. When you got a guy that possesses 98, it's hard to go out there and tone it down.
1 ball, 1 strike. Brian Pena behind the plate here tonight.
He went fastball, breaking ball. Now he's going back to the fastball away here.
And that fastball is down low at 93. 2 balls and a strike.
Going right back out there again. And that's what Max Scherzer's trying to do right now. He's trying to establish his fastball on both sides of the plate, and he's falling behind. And this is something he hadn't done much of all year. He pitches ahead in the count. When he's ahead, he's pretty much unhittable.
29 walks on the season. 3-1. Fouled back out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And now as a hitter, you have so much you have to look for here. You got a changeup, a curveball, a slider, and if Scherzer wants to, he can reach back and throw 98.
The payoff pitch from Scherzer. Fastball blown right by him at 93.
And there's the fastball away. He's been trying to get there through the hole at bat. He got it there.
The defense behind Scherzer in the outfield from left to right. Matt Tuiasosopo, Austin Jackson, and Torrey Hunter. Around the horn in the infield, Prince Fielder at first, Hernan Perez at second, Johnny Peralta at short, Miguel Cabrera at third, and Brian Pena behind the plate. And you see all those all-stars out there for this Tigers team. 1 away now for Leonis Martin as Cabrera is in at third base. Pulls the bunt back and takes the pitch for a strike.
And they've moved Martin up in the order to hit second because of the struggles of Elvis Andrus, and Martin's done a pretty good job handling the bat for him.
The 0-1 from Scherzer. High and outside with a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Martin on the season, 291, 5 home runs, and 16 RBIs.
You look at the on-base percentage of the number 2 hitters. This is the reason Ron Washington's been forced into trying to find somebody else, because Andrus simply hasn't gotten it done the way he's accustomed to doing, and they're trying to find it. And this is why every kid at home should want to be a catcher. This is zero fun. They don't call it the tools of ignorance for no reason. They get beat up back there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The count to Martin. The 1-2 from Scherzer. Got him off speed pitch.
Mr. Bugs Bunny right there. And for you people at home, what I mean by the Bugs Bunny pitch, changeup, it's the exact same delivery, same arm slot as his fastball. Look at the bottom just fall out of there. The hitter is swinging at arm speed. You see him get his head down through there. It looks like he tried to throw it as hard as he can, and the ball simply doesn't get there.
2 outs now for Nelson Cruz. And Cruz takes the first pitch for a ball. Nelson Cruz, an all-star, 273, 22 home runs, 68 RBIs.
And the key to pitching to Nelson Cruz, you do not want to put yourself in a cripple count, which is 2-0 or 3-1, a hitter's count. If you do, you want to throw him something off speed. You do not want to give him a fastball. He's a guy that hunts the fastball and can hit it out of the ballpark.
On 2-0, doesn't give him a fastball, and he fouls it back. And he was looking for that fastball.
Absolutely. He swung fastball, got slider. And had that been a fastball there in that part of the plate, it would have been sitting in someone's popcorn in left field. That's why they call it pitching. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because I couldn't pitch. I threw.
You're not giving yourself enough credit.
Oh, yes, I am. Probably more than I deserve.
Brian Pena has to fix the mask. Second time he's been hit already in this first inning.
And you look at the location of that slider. That's just a get me over slider. He knew he's hunting the fastball. If that had been 92 miles an hour, he'd have killed it.
There's a fastball. Wasn't looking for that one, and now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here's Scherzer trying to strike out the side in the first.
And you look at his numbers from 2012. 379 punch-outs, leads everybody. And there he goes. He tuned it up right there to 95. It would not surprise me at all to see him come back with that changeup. He's gotten him now. He's got him to foul off 95. Going right back out there, fastball away.
Another 2-2. That's lined to right field for a 2-out single.
And this is what you hear people say all the time. He's not locating. He's not locating. This is a pitcher mistake. He wanted the ball away, and look at it run right back over the middle of the plate. And Cruz was all over it, stayed on it, and drove it into right field.
So 2 outs, runner on first. Now for Adrian Beltre here in the top of the first. And Beltre really is the catalyst for this team. As he goes, this team goes. 314, 20 home runs, 53 RBIs.
And probably, in my opinion, the best third baseman in baseball.
That first pitch fastball in the outside corner for a strike. And when you say best third baseman, is that best all around third baseman?
I think without question, Justin. I look at Miggy. Miggy's on a planet of his own with a bat in his hand. I think as far as offense and defense, when you combine the two, I don't think there's a man better than Beltre.
The 0-1. Fastball is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. There's some competition, though. I mean, Evan Longoria from Tampa Bay, I think you put up there in the talk. And I know it's early, but Manny Machado defensively is awesome.
Unbelievable.
Doesn't have the power yet that Beltre has, but look at the extra base hits he comes up with.
I mean, he's got 39 doubles already. This kid is so above his age group, it's not even funny. And those are the kind of swings. And without question, Scherzer has come out here and wanted to establish his fastball away. When he's gotten it there, these are the kind of swings he can get on it. As a hitter, you're expecting that ball to tail back over the plate, and it's staying out there.
The 1-2 from Scherzer. Missing outside again. This one at 95. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
There's so many different ways he can go right now. All Beltre is seen in this at bat is fastballs away, fastballs away. He can come in with a fastball. He can go to his changeup. He can go to his breaking ball. Here comes the changeup. Watch the bottom fall out of this thing.
And it's lined back up the middle for a base hit. Cruz is on the run. Austin Jackson will get it back to second base. So runners on the corners with 2 outs now for the Rangers.
That's a great piece of hitting right there. We're going to look at the pitch by pitch here. And as I said, fastballs away. Away, away. Gets him swinging on a fastball away. Goes away again. Comes to this changeup. That right there is Spalding guidebook hitting. Not trying to pull him, trying to just hit the ball back up the middle. Really good job by Beltre there.
So it looked like Scherzer would get through this inning unscathed. Instead, now it's 2 outs, runners on the corners, and A.J. Przinsky at the plate. Good numbers this year, 284, 9 home runs, and 32 RBIs. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes the fastball for a strike.
I'm pretty sure that that's not going to pull Miggy in from third base or Prince in from first. AJ, the one thing you can say about his running is he's a pretty good hitter.
0-1 on the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes.
And this has been for me, what has really shown Scherzer's progression. He is able to locate.
He has said a big key for him really happened last year, second half, and carried over to this year is against lefties. He has a third pitch. He can throw the curveball. So it's fastball, curveball, and changeup against lefties.
They're trying to go away here.
And he gets him chasing away at 96. So Scherzer strikes out the side here in the first. Around 2 base hits. We go to the bottom half of the inning. No score. Lineup for the Detroit Tigers brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Austin Jackson leads things off. Torrey Hunter will bat second, followed by Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder. The DH is Victor Martinez. Johnny Peralta bats sixth. The bottom third of the order, Matt Tuiasosopo, Brian Pena, and Hernan Perez. And they will face the left-hander Derek Hollins, who is 7-4 with a 3.19 ERA. 32 walks, 114 strikeouts, and 118 2/3 innings.
And for me, this kid is just getting his career started. He has the ability to really pitch.
First pitch fastball is in there for a strike to Austin Jackson.
And this is going to be a big key for him. He has got to get ahead. When he gets ahead, he can be dominated.
Fastball is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The scouting report on Derek Holland is pretty simple. He's got a fastball 91 to 96. He's going to sink and throw his 4-seamer and a wipeout good slider when he's ahead in the count. If he's ahead, his slider becomes very nasty.
1 ball, 2 strikes now to Jackson on the season. 286, 5 home runs, 23 RBIs. He spent some time on the DL. Came back middle of June. The 1-2 from Holland. Foul tipped off of A.J. Przinsky. Stays 1-2.
And you see right there's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. When I look at Austin Jackson, Justin, he makes this thing go. Prince, Miggy, these guys don't have the RBIs they've got if Jackson and Hunter aren't on base.
1-2 is pulled to third. Nice play by Beltre. A long throw makes it look easy.
And that's why I say I think he's the best third baseman in the game.
Got great range and a cannon for an arm.
And can make a throw from any angle, any arm angle. It's uncanny. I've never seen anyone throw from as many arm angles as he does and make accurate throws.
He's almost like the third base version of Robinson Cano at second with the Yankees.
Absolutely.
Torrey Hunter, the all-star, steps to the plate, takes the fastball high and outside.
And getting an opportunity to be around this guy, Justin, this is how every big league baseball player ought to look and feel.
Chopper back up the middle for a base hit. When I saw him yesterday, I said, an all-star again, congratulations. He goes, still fooling them. The defense behind Derek Holland in the outfield from left to right. David Murphy, Leonis Martin, and Nelson Cruz around the horn in the infield. At first is Mitch Moreland, Ian Kinsler at second, Elvis Andrus at short, Adrian Beltre at third, and A.J. Przinsky's behind the plate. And now Derek Holland has to face Miguel Cabrera with a runner on first base, and that just spells trouble.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. With these guys at the top of the order, if they get on, there's just no one way to go at this guy. You look at those numbers.
They're ridiculous.
That's like Nintendo numbers.
And that's a half a season.
Yeah.
First pitch fastball is in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes.
That might be the only pitch you can't hit.
Although you never know.
And yeah, I mean.
Well, Derek Holland, last time he faced him, gave up 2 home runs. So maybe that's the pitch he wants to throw.
Well, I can promise you he's not going to be in a big hurry to be peppering the strike zone right now. He's got Prince, who can rake and is hitting over 400 after Miguel walks. But I'm going to take the left-hander on left-hander matchup over this matchup.
Off-speed pitch missing outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
I think what we're witnessing here is the unintentional intentional walk.
And can you blame him?
No. Heck no. Discretion is a better part of valor sometimes.
Prince Fielder on deck.
There's an old saying, you don't have to beat me over the head with a damp mop twice. Well, in this case, it would be 3 times.
3 balls and no strikes. You know, it's funny. Miguel Cabrera has Prince Fielder hitting behind him, and he moved from first base to third base to accommodate Fielder. He told me, he said, I would move to catcher if it meant I could have Fielder hitting behind him.
Absolutely. And yes, in this situation, Miguel's going to have a green light.
Didn't matter. Wasn't close.
Like I said, Derek Holland was in no hurry to throw anything in the strike zone. I don't blame him. That's smart pitching.
So it's first and second, 1 out now for Prince Fielder. Prince Fielder, you know, you look at his numbers, 270, 16 home runs, 69 RBIs. Those are great numbers, but compared to Miguel Cabrera, you're like, what happened to Prince?
You look at this, 95 and 69 RBIs between them. That's almost impossible to do hitting back-to-back in the batting order.
Fastball is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. These fans reacting, of course. We saw just a couple days ago with the Tigers and the White Sox after Fielder hit a home run. Chris Sale threw high and tight to Prince Fielder, and next thing you know, the Tigers retaliate, throw behind. Alexi Ramirez, bench is clear. And
well, I can say this, Alexi Ramirez is probably like trying to hit the bat because he is thin. Hitting Prince is a whole different thing.
2 balls and no strikes here to Fielder.
And this is where Holland has got to show that he can throw his breaking ball behind in the count. If he can get a slider, just to get me over slider to Prince right here, that'd be a really big step in the right direction.
Fastball hit the other way. Murphy going back on the warning track will make the catch right in front of the track. Torrey Hunter will tag up and go to third as Cabrera goes back to first.
And that's great base running. And as a manager, as we look at Jim Leyland right there, that's the kind of thing you expect out of a guy like Torrey Hunter. A lot of young guys would have gone halfway on that, thinking maybe it's going to get over his head. Torrey read right away it was going to be caught. He got himself back to the bag, tagged up. Now he's in scoring position. On a pass ball, he can score. It's a big play that gets kind of overlooked.
Last night he had a couple of slides. One slide avoided getting picked off at first. Then another one he scored a run as he was able to get his hand in before Przinsky tagged him.
And I'll tell you what, that probably went unnoticed too. AJ did an unbelievable job of taking the plate away, and for Torrey to find a way to get his hand in there, He looked out in real motion, but when you looked at it in slow motion, the umpire made a great call.
You know, those former teammates Pierzynski and Torrey Hunter, they probably had a laugh about that at some point. No balls, 1 strike here to Martinez, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike as Holland tried for the slider. Victor Martinez, he's starting to heat up, and with him starting to heat up, and you've already gotten Torrey Hunter and Cabrera and Fielder hitting the way they're hitting, this lineup just becomes so incredibly dangerous.
Well, there's just no place for the opposing pitcher to take a breath. Most of the lineups, you'll get through a certain part of the order and go, okay, now I can take a deep breath and relax. And this one you can't.
Ground ball to third. Beltre goes to second for the easy out, and that'll do it here in the first. Both teams strand 2 in the first. When we come back, Max Scherzer back on the hill. He struck out the side in the first. Taco Bell is sponsored by Ford and their spectacular summer sales event, and by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. You cannot have a prettier night here for baseball in Detroit. 80 degrees at game time. No score, top of the second. It'll be Elvis Andrus, Mitch Moreland, and Jurickson Profar against Max Scherzer.
And this is something that we talked with Ron Washington before the game about Andrus, and he just says he just simply hasn't found it yet this year.
246, no home runs, 31 RBIs. This is a guy who the team, the organization, has deemed a building block.
Well, defensively, there's no question how good he is. And there you see right there, 89 miles an hour. The last pitch of the last inning, 96.
Andrus showed bunt, pulled it back, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And there's Wash. At some point during the night, he'll probably be running the bases along with his base runners.
1-1. One hopper to second. Nice play by Perez. 1 away. Time now for the forward keys to the game. What should we be looking for?
Well, for me, the Rangers, Holland has to get the middle of the order out. He did a good job of it right there. Got all 3 of them out. And then with the exception of Miggy, who walked him, smart move. And the Tigers, Jackson and Hunter must get on base. And what I mean by that, Miguel and Prince and Victor can't do damage if the top 2 guys aren't on base.
And by the way, a walk to Cabrera, that's almost as good as an out.
Well, yeah, and it slows the other guys down because Miggy doesn't run real well.
Mitch Moreland His numbers on the season: 265, 12 home runs, 35 RBIs. As Scherzer misses with the first pitch, 1-0.
And Mitch Moreland is an extremely strong human. There's that changeup again. It just looks so good coming out of his hand. It looks like it's going to be a fastball, and the bottom falls out of it, and the arm speed is just ridiculous.
And how about the fact that he threw that changeup inside to a lefty?
And that's not normally where you'd want it, because most left-handed hitters are down and in hitters. But when you have the ability to come back and do that, paint away, now you've got him guarding both sides of the plate.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Scherzer struck out the side in the first. Kinsler, Martin, and then back-to-back singles by Cruz and Beltre, and struck out Pierzynski.
He's living on the edges early in this game, and that right there is elevated. That really good pitching right there.
4th strikeout already for Max Scherzer. Scherzer, since 2010 in the American League, look what he has done. You know, we said in the beginning of this broadcast, a new kid on the block. It's not so much that he's a new kid on the block, but he's now going deep into games. He's still continuing with his high strikeout numbers. But it's the fact that he's going deep. It's almost like a different mentality out there for him.
Well, the thing that's different about it, Justin, is the fact that he can put guys away now. He can punch guys out with 4 pitches rather than going to a 3-2 count. Guys fouling balls off. The addition of his curveball and that changeup that is so good, it allows him to strike guys out in fewer pitches.
Jurickson Profar, the highly touted prospect, 240, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. Backdoor breaking ball just misses. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, I don't know if it just missed. It didn't get called, but that's a heck of a pitch right there. And that's a pitch that you're trying to get the hitter to give up on, which is exactly what Profar did.
Pulls the string. 1-2. So you follow up that backdoor breaking ball with a changeup.
That's why he's 13-0. I'm going to put it bluntly. This guy has got all the pitches. It was simply a matter of him being able to repeat his mechanics on a pitch-to-pitch basis, and now he does.
1-2 breaking ball again misses.
Oh my goodness. We're going to look at a replay on this, and this is where a catcher can affect an outcome of a pitch. You see how Pena dropped to a knee? If he'd have stayed in his stance, that's strike 3.
Profar fouls off the pitch, stays 2-2.
And what I like about that from this young kid in Profar, he's not trying to go deep. That's an emergency hack royale right there. He's just protected.
Scherzer 13-0. Many believe that he will be the All-Star Game starter Tuesday at Citi Field.
In my opinion, he should be.
Change up, line drive back at Scherzer. Able to knock it down, recover to get the out, and now you want to make sure he's all right. Scherzer a 1-2-3 inning. Quick reflexes. No scores. We go to the bottom half of the second.
By Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. Bottom of the second. No score. Rangers and Tigers. Johnny Peralta will lead things off here against Derek Holland. And the first pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Peralta, an all-star. 300, 7 home runs, 44 RBIs.
And he's had an outstanding year for the Tigers. He's not a guy that you're going to look at shortstop and go, wow, look at the range. But he makes all the routine plays, and that bat plays everywhere.
The 1-1 from Holland. Bounce foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You know, it's funny. Well, this is not funny, but as we take a look at the last out from the top half of the second, that was in real time. Now watch it.
This goes through his jersey and hits him on the left forearm. And that knocked it straight down. So you know it caught him flush. They were looking at him between innings, but I think Max is probably going to come back out.
Peralta to straightaway center field. Martino on the run makes the catch. A deep center field. Good play.
As we look at this line drive back up the middle, for all of you that want to be pitchers, that ball smoked him on the forearm. He is going to have a monkey bump. You can see him. He's going down there and they're asking where it hit him, and he showed him. There's going to be a monkey bump on his arm. It'll be interesting to see if, I'm pretty sure he'll come back out. There's no one throwing in the bullpen, so I would imagine he's going to come back out. But now you have to start to wonder, will that affect him starting in the All-Star game?
Yeah. Matt Tuiasosopo in limited time. Good numbers, 342, 6 home runs, 21 RBIs.
And this is a guy you cannot sleep on if you're Derek Holland. He's not a household name, but
well, if you're a football fan, he is.
Well, yeah, and I was too. I knew I think it was his father, right? It was Manu Tuiasosopo. I get him confused because there was Mosi Tutupu and Manu Tuiasosopo, and his brother is Marcus Tuiasosopo, the quarterback. If I'm not completely off base.
Okay, so his father Manu was a defensive lineman. His brother Marcus was a quarterback with the Raiders and the Jets. And well, now you can see it as he goes down swinging. We'll show it the next time he comes up. Or you know what? Better yet, we won't make you wait for it. Here you go. He was actually supposed to play football at Washington. His brother Marcus was a quarterback there. And their whole family are great athletes. 2 away here in the second, and now Brian Pena at the plate. A couple of all-stars chatting it up. Fastball is high and outside to Pena.
And Pena's done a really good job for these guys behind the plate. Look at the average. And he's supposed to be a backup catcher. When you got a backup catcher hitting for that kind of average, that's pretty good.
Browns one to Kinsler at second, and a quick 1-2-3 inning worked by Holland. We'll return to Detroit after a word from your local Fox station.
Night in America on Fox, presented by Taco Bell. Top of the third, no score. Max Scherzer is back out on the hill. And what makes Max Scherzer so effective?
You know what? As a hitter, you're looking for different keys or tells, much like in poker. What is he doing different on these pitches? This is what makes Scherzer special. On the left, that's his changeup. On the right, that's his fastball. You tell me what is different about these two deliveries. And you watch them. The one on the left doesn't get there. The one on the right, 96 miles an hour. The hitter is swinging at arm speed. That's all they're looking for. There is nothing in that delivery they can say, okay, that's his changeup coming. That's why they look so foolish on it.
Where do you think his changeup ranks among baseball today?
In the top 5. I really would. I never could master it for this. The thing you have to master when you're throwing a circle change, you have to put that ball in your hand, grip it in a circle change, and tell yourself, I'm throwing a fastball. I never could do that. It takes a special mind to kind of do that. And the guys that do it and trust it, it's filthy.
No balls, 1 strike here to Murphy. Down low, 1-1. David Murphy, 217, 10 home runs, 30 RBIs. We talked about Elvis Andrus struggling. David Murphy has been struggling. And yet here the Texas Rangers are at 53-40. And they're 1 game back of Oakland in the AL West. And their starting rotation has been decimated by injuries. But they're staying more than afloat. They're staying in contention.
Well, Justin, they have an entire rotation on the DL right now. And this could, in talking with Ron Washington before the game, it could be a blessing in disguise.
Well, Tuesday, Rangers outfielder Nelson Cruz. That man you just saw, Yu Darvish. Tigers third baseman Miguel Cabrera. They'll join baseball's greatest stars for the biggest event of the summer as the Midsummer Classic returns to New York with home field advantage for the World Series on the line. It's the 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, Tuesday starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox from Citi Field in New York. And Miguel Cabrera will be making the start. Yu Darvish will not be participating in the All-Star Game, but he will be going. And the first pitch fastball misses outside to Ian Kinsler.
And obviously the book on Ian Kinsler, watching him, he looks for the ball in. He's going to jump fastballs in. You see how close he is to the plate? Every hitter stands to protect their weakness. If a hitter's up on the plate, he's telling you, I can't hit the ball away. If he stands off the plate, he's telling you, I can't hit the ball in. This right here, that's why they're living away on him.
1-1, check swing on a nice slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 4 Ks already for Max Scherzer. He struck out Kinsler to open up the ball game. The 1-2 from Scherzer. Fastball missing outside at 95, 2-2.
That's a great job right there. He's missing. That's not missing by much. And you look at Max Scherzer and the way he goes about his business. This is one really intelligent guy.
Ground ball to third base. Cabrera has it. Throws across to away. Time for a game break. Let's go to Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios.
Well, Justin, Jason Kipnis, one of 31 All-Stars on display in New York on Tuesday, and displaying the old 1902 Cleveland Broncos unis today. Nothing fancy here, just a sac fly to start the scoring as we get it back out to you guys at the ballpark.
All right, thanks, Matt. The Indians start tonight, 2.5 games back of Detroit. Kansas City, they're 7 games back. And the first pitch curveball to Martinez in their first strike.
And you look at the variation in velocity on his pitches. We've seen 96 down to 76. That's pretty good variation.
Oh, another breaking ball in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike to Martinez, who struck out his first time up. Change up.
Yeah, and it's just unfair. It really is.
So how do you avoid falling in love with it if you're Scherzer?
because you know you have to throw enough fastballs to make that pitch look that good. And you look at that, that's a fastball down the middle and the bottom falls out of it.
Fastball misses low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I don't care what pitch it is, whether it's your fastball, your breaking ball, or your changeup. If they see it too often, they're going to figure out a way to get it.
Bounce foul.
You can see right there, Scherzer pulled that fastball in. He was trying to throw a fastball away and kind of jerked it inside and got away with it. That's the difference of throwing 90 and 88, 90. You can make a mistake at 94. You can't make those mistakes at 88, 89.
Another 2-2 pitch from Scherzer. Cued off into the bat to shortstop. Peralta. And a 1-2-3 inning worked here by Scherzer. He's retired 7 in a row. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd. No score here in Detroit. Park, scoreless game between the Rangers and the Tigers. Herman Perez will lead things off and take the first pitch strike from Derek Holland. We are joined down on the field by the 6-time All-Star for the Detroit Tigers, Justin Verlander. The 0-1 pitch, and Perez tries to push a bunt to first. No balls and 2 strikes. And Justin, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on yet another All-Star game appearance. What does it feel like? I mean, 5 straight now for you. Is this just getting old?
No, it never gets old, man. This is, you know, it's quite an opportunity, and you get to represent not only yourself but your city and your American League, and you know, it's a lot of fun. Every time I go, it's a little bit different, and I really enjoy going, especially going with teammates. This year I got 5 teammates going, and you know, the first timer Max, really excited for him as well.
Justin, it's Mitch, and I got to ask you, you've come out over the last 2 or 3 weeks and talked about your mechanics a little bit.
Yeah.
When most guys struggle, they struggle to like the tune of a 6 or 7 ERA. You're struggling to a 3.5.
Yeah, you know, I really credit a lot of that to 2008, funny enough. You know, I had a pretty bad year that year, and learned to pitch with not being able to pitch like I normally do. And, you know, I feel like I've matured a lot as a pitcher since then, and being able to still go out there and produce, even though I'm not producing like I would like to at this point in time. I still got a whole second half to go.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Perez, and Perez strikes out swinging for the first out here in the third. Justin, last year you started the All-Star game for the American League. A lot of talk right now. The guy pitching for you guys tonight, Max Scherzer, could potentially start on Tuesday. If he does, what kind of advice would you have for him?
Don't do what I did last year. Don't go out there and try to throw 100. You know, just, hey, enjoy it, have fun, man. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and, you know, I'm a bit biased. I think he should start.
You're not alone. I think he should, too.
It's been an incredible first half for him, and it's been a lot of fun for me to watch and everybody here in Detroit to watch. So I hope he gets that opportunity, and if he does, I don't think I'm going to have any words of advice for him. Just let him do his thing and go out there and show the world what he can do.
Well, Justin, you kind of took yourself out of your normal game plan last year because of the fans. You went out there in the first inning trying to throw 100. When you normally start a game, you're around 91, 92 with your fastball. And that was not the way. You didn't start that game like a typical game, did you?
No, not at all. And you know what, to be honest with you, I don't regret my decision. Obviously, it didn't work out well. But, you know, hey, this is a showcase. I know I'm only going out there for 1 or 2 innings. There's no point. I usually start the games to try to reserve pitch count. And I usually start the games in low 90s to reserve pitch count and try to get myself deep into the ball game with some early contact. There's no point in that when I know I'm only going out there for 1 or 2. So I just tried to let it fly. And my body wasn't quite used to that. I was pretty erratic and all around the place.
Well, that's how I pitched my entire career, Justin. So tell me how it feels. And my pitch count, that's why I became a reliever. I was 110 pitches 3 innings into the game.
Yeah, I did that a lot early in my career as well.
3 balls, 1 strike, the count to Austin Jackson, and now it's ball 4. Again, we are speaking with Justin Verlander here, and I would actually disagree with that by Justin Verlander. He's being modest right now, but I saw him in the minors back in 2005. He was dominant back then. But you look at Max Scherzer, you look at Justin Verlander, their numbers here. Justin, we showed the highlights of the All-Star game last year. Mike Maddox was the pitching coach in that game. Mike Maddox, the pitching coach in the other dugout. What did he say when he came out to you?
I don't remember. You know, it's such a whirlwind. It's just kind of one of those things. I got my boy Alex over here throwing seeds at me. Thanks, Alex. You know, it's just one of those things. It's a big whirlwind, and, you know, you got your hair on fire out there. Just get down.
It will get down for Torrey Hunter. Austin Jackson thought about going for third. Instead, he'll stop at second, first and second, 1 away. Now, we're going to show them beating on the mound again, but my real question for you is Max Scherzer. I know he's the guy who's in charge of all the fantasy drafts. The NFL is coming up. What kind of trash talking is already started in the dugout between you guys?
It's definitely already started. You know, I don't have much room to talk. I haven't won a championship in our league yet, so you know, most of the trash talking is probably directed in towards me. You know, just basically because I haven't won yet. But
did I hear things correct that Miggy won last year, despite the fact he knows nothing about football?
Miggy bought a team. Miggy was the owner, and we had our clubhouse, our video guy Jeremy Kelch. He ran Miggy's team, so he was the GM. Jeremy Kelch was the GM, and Miggy was the owner. So. Half and half credit. So yeah, Miguel technically won. Yeah.
I would love to see Miggy just throw a football.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to see him on the football field. He's a big boy.
Well, right now he's to the plate with runners in scoring position. Lines one to right field, caught by Cruz, and now it's dropped. It will be a catch. It will be a catch, says the first base umpire Tim Rolke for the second out here in the third.
You know what, Justin? The thing that jumped out at me about that meeting on the mound with Mike Maddox last year, as we look at the replay here, Cruz catching the ball and then trying to transfer, drop it, but Maddox puts his hand on all his pitchers' shoulders when he walks out there, and you were like, kind of, get off me.
You know, I didn't even realize that. And then a couple of the Rangers pitchers were like, hey, did you notice? And now every time he goes out to the mound, I always watch it. He always puts his hand on the guy's shoulder.
He wants to feel the tension in their shoulders. Here it is. You're like, get off me. I was kind of the same way. If I'm getting beat up, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Take me out or leave me alone.
Hey, by the way, we are speaking with Maddox next half inning. We're going to ask him about that as well.
Great.
2 outs now, and Prince Fielder at the plate with runners on first and second. Bottom half of the third, scoreless game. Again, we are speaking with Justin Verlander. And Justin, before we let you go, you have Verlander's Victory for Veterans with the military. How did you get this started, and what got you so heavily involved?
Well, you know, it all started here in Detroit, actually. You know, a lot of games, almost every game, we have a veteran come on the field or somebody that served, and they deliver the game ball. And, you know, I've got my suite, and it was just kind of an idea that, you know, to show my respect for these guys. When I'm starting, I donate my suite and food to them and their families, which I think is a nice part from local veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan. They get the opportunity to use my suite.
I think it's very cool.
With their families, which I thought was a cool part. I'm actually going to do some expansion and some different things, and I'm going to actually talk about that at the All-Star game this upcoming week.
Well, Justin, there's a lot of different charities you can get involved in. I love that one. And I also love all the stuff we've seen and heard about you and your brother. I think that's really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic, man. He is so happy. I talk to him pretty often, and you know, he's so excited just to be in the fold and playing professional baseball and having a blast. And hopefully one day we can play together.
2 balls, no strikes to Fielder after the wild pitch. Now 3-0. So if he makes it to the Tigers, who has to put the initial in front of the last name?
I would have to say him.
I would too.
Yeah. I think he's going to have to do that.
I had a brother that played pro ball too, Justin. Does this mean you get to take him off the payroll? Because it didn't mean that for mine.
No, you know, my younger brother, you know, hey, no matter what, I'm always going to support him. Doesn't matter whether he's making $1 billion or $1. You know, I'm going to support him as his older brother.
See, that was my problem. My older brother was the one I ended up having to pay him.
Yeah. A walk now to Prince Fielder. Bases are loaded for Victor Martinez, trying to get the Tigers on the board here. Again, we're speaking with Justin Verlander. And my last question for you is, you're going to New York City. There are some good golf courses there. Will you be bringing the clubs?
I am bringing the clubs. I think I'm going to stay an extra day and try to head out to Wingfoot.
Nice. I thought that might happen. Justin, thanks for joining us. Good luck. Enjoy the All-Star game.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Go get him, buddy.
All right.
Victor Martinez will bat here with the bases loaded. And the first pitch misses down low and in for a ball.
You know, earlier in the year, this might be a situation where Victor would look to hit the ball out of the park. Now he's back to the old Victor Martinez, just looking to drive the ball.
You've got Jackson, Hunter, and Fielder on the bases with 2 outs in the third. That's in there for a strike.
This is kind of an obvious statement, but this is a huge part of the game right here for Derek Holland. If he can get out of this, he's going to go into the dugout with a lot of confidence, because this is the middle of the order, part of the order he has to shut down and keep off the bases and from crossing that plate. This is a huge at bat right here.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here to Martinez, who grounded to third base his first time up, and that's a big swing. 1-2.
I talked with Derek yesterday about his 2-seam fastball, and he said that it's cutting on him. Well, that to me looked like a 2-seamer that he threw that cut on him. It actually was a pretty effective pitch. You see right there, he's got a 4-seam grip.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Martinez. 3 career grand slams.
He's got to stay out of the strike zone with this pitch.
He does.
That's a good job right there.
Martinez did not bite. 2-2.
What that pitch allows him to do now is he can go anywhere. He can go with his fastball, he can go with his 2-seamer or his breaking ball.
Why? Why did that pitch allow this to now happen?
Because now if you're Victor Martinez, you say, okay, he just threw a slider in the dirt. He's not going to come back with that slider. He's not going to try and bounce it twice.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Pierzynski goes through the signs. And now Holland will step off, and Pierzynski will ask for time and go out to make sure they're on the right page here on this big pitch.
Well, I'm guessing by the sequence there, Derek Holland doesn't have a curveball. So I'm guessing they're going with sign after 2. And you saw him flash the 2, 3, 1, all that. Well, sign after 2, he would have been throwing a slider right there. I'm going to guess, just because I know Holland doesn't throw a curveball, that they're going sign after 2. We'll see what he does here.
So what would you do for a guy like David Cone, who threw like 8 different pitches?
Oh, just put fingers down and hope. Cone threw things from every angle. We played him one day on a Sunday day game. He only punched out 19.
2-2. Got Martinez swinging.
That's
a huge strikeout for Derek Holland. The Tigers leave the bases loaded here in the third. Bell is sponsored by the makers of One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of Major League Baseball, and by Chevrolet. Find new roads. Top of the fourth inning, still no score, as Derek Holland was able to strike out Victor Martinez with the bases loaded to end the bottom half of the third. Now Nelson Cruz will lead things off here in the fourth against Max Scherzer, and the first pitch is down low and outside for ball one.
Well, I don't think it's any secret as to what Scherzer's game plan is here. He's pitching these guys away.
Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Why? What do you think it is?
I think they're so used to spinning on the ball that he's going to take his strength, which is his fastball.
Nelson Cruz lines one down the left field line into the corner.
And you want to talk about falling in to when you look at it, you don't want to fall into a pattern with a big league hitter. First time up, he went 2-0 and threw him a breaking ball, and Cruz pulled off it, right? Same situation, 2-0, threw him a breaking ball, and Cruz hammered it. That's what happens when you get into the big league level. Just because you got him out that way one time, it doesn't mean you're going to get him out that way the next time.
With that leadoff double, it's the first time either team has had the leadoff man on base in an inning. So man on at second now for Adrian Beltre, who singled his first time up. And the fastball is on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 to Adrian Beltre. We are joined now by the pitching coach for the Texas Rangers, Mike Maddox. Mike, thanks for joining us. Derek Holland got out of that jam in the third. We planned this perfectly to have you on after that. What's your take on what you've seen so far from Holland?
Well, I like what he's doing. He's attacking him. He's going after him with his good stuff, and he's using all of his pitches. You know, trying to stay away from being predictable with them, because these guys do swing the bat and make adjustments, so he's trying to stay a step ahead.
Mike, it's Mitch, and I was talking in that last at bat when Derek threw the 1-2 breaking ball down in the dirt. AJ blocked it. I think Victor Martinez thought there's no way he's going to come back with a breaking ball and risk a pass ball or risk going 3-2, and Derek came back with it anyway.
Well, like we said, he's going to stay one step ahead of him. That's the idea, because, you know, Victor's been back there. He's caught enough. He knows what a catcher thinks. He knows what a pitcher thinks like, and he takes it up to the plate.
Scherzer ahead in the count, 0-2 here against Beltre.
And Beltre fouls it off, stays no balls and 2 strikes. Derek Holland so far in this game has gone 3 innings, has not given up a run. And we are speaking with Mike Maddux, his pitching coach. And Mike, looking at this team and the starting rotation you had to open the season and where you are right now with all the injuries, how have you guys done as well as you have? Not even staying afloat. You're 1 game back.
Yeah, we pray a lot. We, you know, have guys believe in themselves. Anybody with a ball can get you out. Anybody with a bat can get a hit. So we kind of keep that approach. We put our best team on the field every night, and they're going to be prepared, and that's what we do. We got to prepare them for the situation, and we try to take care of the situation when it presents itself to us.
Mike, I said before the game on air that I think Derek Holland, once he gets to a point where he has mastered his body and his mechanics, you're looking at a perennial all-star pitcher. Do you feel that way?
Absolutely. I think Derek has made strides, more mentally than physically. Physically he's blessed with just a power arm, and the ball really explodes out of his hand. But his off-speed stuff's getting better and better, but his presence on the mound is what's really improved me over the last couple of years.
Pierzynski lofts one to left field. That should be deep enough. Cruz will tag up from third. And that will give Texas the lead 1-0 here in the 4th inning. Sacrifice fly for A.J. Pierzynski. Well, Mike, your brother Greg worked the World Baseball Classic this past year for Team USA. Did he pick your brain before being the pitching coach for them on how we should actually handle these guys?
Well, we cooperated on schedules, how to pick the team, and just things to do. He knows pitching. He does know that, but pitch coaching is something we all got to learn. When we get to the other side of the fence, it's there's schedules you got to make, and how do you keep guys on a schedule, and especially in spring training, because these guys did go into competition, but they were still on a spring training schedule. So helped him out with that a little bit, but as far as the X's and O's between the lines, that was all him.
2 balls and no strikes here to Elvis Andrus, and we have to ask you this. We were just speaking with Justin Verlander. Last year's All-Star game, 1st inning. Verlander is getting hit hard. You go out and speak to him. You try to put your hand on his shoulder. He didn't take to that. What you try to say to him last year?
Well, just try to remind him, that good pitches work. He was up in the zone in that inning, and he was just throwing it as hard as he could, and maybe sacrificing location for stuff. And just a little reminder that good pitches work. You're here for a reason, because you make good pitches.
And we're looking at it now, Mike. And I know you do that to feel the tension in your pitcher's shoulders, because that's where a lot of tension will show itself, is in their traps and their shoulders. But Justin was kind of like, look, I'm throwing 100 and getting beat all over the park. I want to get back to asking you about Greg, because I played with him. Do you honestly think he has the attention span to be a pitching coach?
Yeah, I do. I think his baseball IQ is extremely high.
I think it's off the charts. I just don't know if he has the patience to do what you do.
Well, it's something we got to learn to do, and I think he would be a very good pitching coach. I think he'd be a good baseball person in whatever capacity he would like to field.
3 balls and 2 strikes here to Elvis Andrus. Again, we're talking with Mike Maddux, the pitching coach here for the Rangers. We talked about the injuries. How about an update on Colby Lewis, who threw a simulated game here today?
We threw 46 pitches. We kind of simulated 2 innings. Trying to stretch it out. The breaking stuff's good. He's spinning the ball well. Changeup's good. His 2-seamer's getting what we want. Just need a little more carry on the 4-seamer. And that's going to come kind of like we do in spring training. You feel good, all your stuff's there, but it's got to get just a touch quicker, a little touch later on the breaking ball. So he's kind of where most people would be at the first week of spring training right now.
2 outs and a 2-out walk here to Elvis Andrus. Will bring up Mitch Moreland. 1-0. Texas leading Detroit here in the top of the 4th inning, and we're showing right now all the injuries to your starting pitchers. And again, pretty amazing what you guys have been able to do. And the one rock right now has been Derek Holland in that rotation. Going forward, setting that rotation up, what can we expect now post All-Star break with guys coming off the DL and guys being ready?
Well, we'll have Holland, who's been healthy all year, and Martin Perez has come up in the minor leagues and thrown some nice starts for us, so he'll be in the rotation. We will get Yu Darvish back. We will get Alexi Ogando back, and we have a 5th spot that has to be contemplated. That's where Nick Tepesch is on the DL. He's been one of our starters. Justin Grimm, who threw last night, who came out of the game with an injury, or tightness anyway. So there's more injuries on the horizon, but we got some coming off. So we try to get back to where we started from.
Well, Mike, we appreciate you taking the time as Mitch Moreland lofts one out to left field. That's going to carry for a home run. You can go celebrate with your dugout. A 2-run shot by Moreland. Thanks so much for joining us.
You bet, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Mitch Moreland with his 13th home run of the season. Opposite field power. You said this guy was strong.
Exactly. I've been in the batting cage when he's taken BP, and this is what you call a big old hay hauler. That is a strong, strong man. And this is one of the big reasons, Mitch Moreland, that Chris Davis is in Baltimore. They had so much hope for Moreland to do what you just saw, and I think he's just starting to figure out how to hit at the big league level. And I think they're going to have a really powerful first baseman for a long time to come here in Texas.
Jurickson Profar takes the first pitch changeup for a strike. And, you know, you have to go back to that last half inning. Holland getting out of that inning with the bases loaded, striking out Victor Martinez, puts that 0 up on the board. And now Texas responds with a 3 spot so far against Scherzer here in the 4th.
And that's what I meant. We may be able to go back to that at bat and say that was a turning point of the game. Because the Tigers had the meat of their order up and could not, with the bases loaded, and couldn't get a run across. Holland's going to look at that and go, wow, I got out of that. Now I got 3. Now Scherzer has to stop the bleeding right now, get this guy out, get back in the dugout, because he has an offense that can throw up 6 or 7 in an inning if they have to.
And Scherzer will throw a lot of pitches. Right now, though, top of the 4th, he's already at 71. Now, it's not a 100-pitch guy. He could be 120.
Absolutely. Everybody knows I hate the pitch count.
I do too.
I can't stand it. I don't think it's a barometer of how a guy's throwing.
Profar's going to try for second, and he will be in there with a hustle double. Jurickson Profar hustling out of the box, saw where that ball was going and thought he can get to second, and he got there.
And these are the little things that Ron Washington speaks of on how they've managed to stay where they're at. He could have easily pulled up at first and been satisfied with a single. He busted it out of the box and made sure he got into scoring position now with 2 outs.
And now Jeff Jones will come out to have the meeting on the mound with Scherzer and Pena. 3 extra base hits in the inning for the Texas Rangers. Nelson Cruz led off with a double after Scherzer was behind in the count 2-0. And you had the sacrifice fly by Przinsky, the 2-run shot by Moreland, now a double here for Profar. And David Murphy will step in, who flew out to center field his first time up.
It wouldn't surprise me to see Scherzer right now start reaching back and trying to get 97, 98. He needs to get off the mound right now and get back in the dugout and let his offense go to work.
And Scherzer does get great run support. So 3-0, that's not too much.
No, I think he's close to 6 or 7 runs a game of run support this year.
And no balls and 2 strikes.
That changeup is just. I'm thinking he's going to reach back for 98, and he's out there throwing changeups, and he's ahead 0-2. This is a really good spot here to elevate your fastball and either come back with the fastball or throw that changeup.
Missing outside with the fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Wow, I'd have walked 12 guys an inning if that's called a ball.
What would your nickname have been then?
Minor leagues? I wouldn't have had a nickname. I don't think they give them to you unless you get to the big league.
1 ball and 2 strikes here to Murphy. Line back up the middle. Peralta behind the bag. Gets to it. The play not in time. Murphy beats it out. Scherzer thought they had him. Tim Welke with the call at first base.
That's a really close play, but anytime it's so close, you have to look at it on replay. He's safe.
He's safe. Good call.
Really good call. Yeah, Prince isn't the longest legged guy to where he can stretch out and get that. But you can see the foot's definitely on the bag.
Scherzer thought he was out of the inning. Oh,
I think he was ducking for the throw to third.
Hey, that play by Peralta, though, that keeps that run at third base.
Absolutely. That's going to be a play that goes overlooked unless the Tigers win 4-3.
Now Kinsler takes the first pitch breaking ball on the inside corner, first strike. He's 0 for 2. A strikeout and a ground out to third base. Again, Scherzer 13-0, trying to go 14-0, which would match the start that Roger Clemens had back in 1986. Fastball on the outside corner, quickly no balls and 2 strikes.
And if you notice, you see where the umpire's setting up there, Justin? He's setting up over the catcher's left-hand shoulder. He's getting that ball on the outside corner called for right-handers, but he is not getting the outside corner for left-handers. He's blind to that outside corner for right-handers. You see him setting up there over the left-handed or over the catcher's left shoulder. He sees that part of the plate really well. Well, he's blind to that outside corner, so he's calling that. And in my opinion, he's missed a couple that have been on that outside corner to left-handers.
No balls, 2 strikes here to Kinsler. Runners on first and third. The 0-2 from Scherzer in the dirt. Good stop by Pena. Both runners will hold.
That's a great job by Brian Pena behind the plate. And you have to have that. If you're a pitcher on the mound with guys on third base and you don't trust that your catcher is going to block, it limits you as to what you can do. But Scherzer knows Pena's going to keep that ball in front of him.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball in the air, left field. Tuiasa Sopo has plenty of room. He'll come in to make the catch for the final out. But the Rangers put up a 3 spot here in the inning. 2 of them coming on the opposite field. Home run from Mitch Moreland. The Rangers now lead 3-0. Half of the inning, a 2-run home run. 3-0 Texas leads Detroit. Johnny Peralta, Matt Tuiasosopo, and Brian Pena to face Derek Holland here in the bottom half of the 4th. And the changeup, one hopper by Adrian Beltre at third base.
That's a ball that just eats up third baseman. If anybody's going to make that play, it's going to be Beltre. But you see it's got top spin on it. As soon as it hits, it's going to jump up. That's basically just out of his reach. If you're Derek Holland in this inning, your offense just got you 3 runs. You're looking for a shutdown inning, which means a goose egg. Get them right back in there to their dugout and let them try and start scoring again.
Matt Tuiasosopo struck out his first time up, one of 3 strikeout victims in the game for Derek Holland. Off with the pitch is Peralta, and he will steal that base without a throw. Is that just going on first move?
Absolutely. Johnny Peralta is not going to steal a bunch of bases. He went first move. You can watch as soon as his foot cleared the dirt, he was gone. He had basically no lead right there. There's no reason for Holland to throw over there. But you have to change your times, hold the ball, step off to hold runners.
Tuiasosopo, the big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. That was the 3rd stolen base of the year for Peralta. Just showing off his well-rounded game. You know, he's an all-star now, so.
Yeah, and the thing is, if there was 1 out, Peralta would be looking to steal 3rd because Hollins is coming, set, and going.
Low and inside, 2 balls and a strike.
And this is what we talked about earlier, Justin. There's really just no place in this lineup for the pitcher to step off, take a deep breath, and say, whew, I'm through it. Because all of these guys have the potential to hit the ball out of the park.
Tuiasosopo, 6 home runs and 80 at-bats. The 2-1. Slider missed low and inside. Now 3 balls and 1 strike here to Tuiasosopo.
And I like what Derek Holland's doing. He's not giving in and just pumping fastballs in there. He's still trying to make pitches. And you got every now and then you got to give a hitter credit for taking a pitch that he probably should have swung at.
On 3-1, fastball misses up high, ball 4, 1st and 2nd. Nobody out here in the 4th. Chevrolet, the official vehicle of Major League Baseball, is celebrating a new season for new memories. For your chance to win a community field makeover and an all-new 2014 Impala, visit ChevyBaseball.com. All right, here comes Mike Maddox. Let's see if he puts the hand on the shoulder. Nope. I guess we jinxed it.
I can't believe that. I've never seen him go to the mound and not do that.
Well, now A.J. Pierzynski wants the entire infield to come in.
Oh, they're going to go over bunt defenses right here. Brian Pena is a big guy, but in this situation, like I said, all you want to do if you're an offense that's falling behind 3-0, you want to score a run. So in this situation, they're probably going to use Pena to bunt, and that's what A.J. went out there to do. Make sure what bunt plays on, whether it's the wheel. They don't have great speed at second base in Peralta, so they could put the wheel on, meaning that Andrus is going to fake the second base and then break to third. Beltre is going to charge. That would be the wheel play. Or they can just put it on where Beltre goes to the bag and Holland's got everything down the third baseline.
Brian Pena grounded out to second base his first time up.
Well, Mitch Moreland's back at first base, so I don't know whether.
Not showing bunt, chopper to short. This could be 2. They get the first and second, and they turn a double play. 6-4-3 down to third base goes Peralta.
And that right there, that's the problem right there. When you don't bunt, you bring the double play into effect, and this is a really good double play combination in Kinsler and Andrus. So now Holland has the opportunity here to get out of this inning without giving up any runs. Anytime you got first and second, nobody out, that double play, there's nothing that makes you happier as a pitcher.
Now Hernan Perez struck out his first time up. Line drive back up the middle, base hit, 2-out RBI. So after that double play, the 9-hole hitter comes through. His first RBI.
And Justin, that's a great piece of hitting. He stays inside that ball, stayed back on it. It's a first pitch break. Oh, well, I guess it was a fastball. He jerked his hands inside it. Look at him jerk his hands inside and drive that ball back up the middle. That's a good piece of hit.
And you could almost see the frustration, the letdown for the Rangers, thinking we were almost out of it. We thought we had it.
Yeah, and there's no question there's disappointment in Holland because he did get the big double play. But the worst thing you can do right now is worry about that. As a pitcher, you have to let that go and not let this inning continue any further.
Austin Jackson walked his last time up. 0 for 1. Again, a throw over to first base, and Perez was leaning. Or maybe he was just fooled by the lefty on the mound.
Well, and that's a good thing because you don't want Perez to get into scoring position right here. Austin Jackson handles the bat very well. You want to keep Perez on first base. Make it be a double or a gapper or whatever that scores him. You don't want him to get to second.
Slow breaking ball in their first strike.
And I like that Holland's changing speeds on his breaking ball, Justin. He's doing a good job of pitching so far tonight.
A 3-1 ball game, bottom half of the fourth inning. No balls and 2 strikes here to Austin Jackson.
Now he can do whatever he wants here. He can bounce a breaking ball or he can go up with his fastball. Derek Holland has an extremely good 4-seam fastball up. If he can throw it in the middle of the plate up, he'll be out. He's picking off here. That's what thumb means. He's going to throw over to first. And the reason they do that, the hitter's in the hole 0-2. So if he gets thrown out,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It bails out Austin Jackson. So that's why they would run Perez here, to bail Austin Jackson out of a bad count of an 0-2 count, and he'd lead off the next inning.
No balls, 2 strikes to Jackson. The 0-2. Got him chasing, and that'll do it here for the 4th. The 4th strikeout of the game for Derek Collins. Able to get Austin Jackson, but he does give up a run in the inning. We're through 4 at 3-1 Texas. It's 3-1. Let's take a look at the Fox Sports 1 pitch comparison presented by Fox Sports 1, America's News Sports Network, coming this August 17th. Advantage so far, Derek Holland.
And there's no question this guy has He's outpitched Scherzer so far. You would look at it and go, look at the innings, number of hits, the runs. He's done a good job. Been the better pitcher so far tonight. And you can see his pitching coach after that last inning, a little fist bump, saying that could have been a lot worse than it was. That was a great job of pitching.
Martin chases the changeup. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes, and one number we didn't have on there. Another advantage for Holland. Pitch count.
Absolutely. It's not by much, though. They're both elevated in pitch count. But like you and I both said, I'm not a big fan of that. I think if mechanically you're doing everything sound, there's no and an arbitrary number like 100 or 110. There's some days you're going to go out there and it's going to be 60 and you're done. Some days it can go out there and be 150. I just don't get it.
Well, in Holland's last start, he threw 125 pitches. And if you look at Scherzer's breakdown, basically every one of his starts is well over 100 pitches.
Well, I've always been a big believer in the opposing lineup will let you know when you're done.
I agree.
I mean, there's obviously times when, as a pitching coach or a manager, you're going to sit there and look at your pitcher and you go, he's laboring. He's starting to break down on his backside and he's trying to use his legs too much. That's when you know the guy's tired. But if they're standing tall and throwing it in the 8th like they are in the 1st, or they were in the 1st, there's no reason to go get him. It makes no sense.
Tom Verducci told a great story about Leo Mazzoni in the heyday with the Braves. The guys would come in. There were no pitch counts on the scoreboards anywhere. They say, what am I at? And he'd look down and he'd be like, 70. They may have been at 90.
Yeah.
And they said, all right, I feel good. Yeah, all right, I keep on going.
It's so ridiculous. I never one time asked a pitching coach how many pitches have I was a starter my entire minor league career. I didn't really want to know because I know I got taken out of a no-hitter in the 5th one time with 155 pitches, losing 2-1.
3-2 outside, and after being ahead in the count, Scherzer walks Martin to lead off this 5th inning. That'll bring up Nelson Cruz. We'll go back to the 2011 American League Championship Series when Cruz was the ALCS MVP. All he did was hit .364, 6 home runs, 13 RBIs. It was the most home runs and RBIs in a single Major League postseason.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is one of the streakiest hitters in baseball. When he gets hot, you can't get small enough on the mound as a pitcher. You just hope he doesn't hit it back at you.
That single series, those numbers. 6 home runs. The previous home run record was 5. Shared by Reggie Jackson, Chase Utley, Griffey Jr., Juan Gonzalez.
6 home runs in a series. That's putting the bat on the barrel, or the ball on the barrel of the bat a lot. And Scherzer fell into a pattern in his first 2 at-bats, and it cost him. He went 2-0 his first time up, threw him a breaking ball in the 2-0 count, did the exact same thing in his second at-bat, and Cruz made him pay with a double.
Cruz is 2 for 2, a single, double, and a run scored. Scored the first run of the game. A pitch out. Martin was not going. Martin has great speed. 18 for 21 on the bases this year.
And Scherzer's not a guy that abbreviates his delivery. I don't believe in that either. I don't believe in the slide step. I believe you hold guys by holding the ball, stepping off, throwing over, and changing your times. I don't believe in sacrificing command and stuff to hold a runner close.
Holding a long time. Now a timeout is called by Nelson Cruz.
And that's what it does. A base runner, there's nothing that upsets him more than standing there tightening up.
Talked about the run support before. Scherzer at 13-0 gets over 7.5 runs per game. Runner goes on this one. Throw down by Pena. That one will go into center field. Martin will take third base. So now a runner on at third. Nobody out here. Top of the 5th inning. Stolen base, E2.
And I don't think he had a very good jump, but I think Pena didn't have a grip on that ball. He fired that almost sidearm. I don't think he had a great grip on that ball. Let's see what it looks like in his hand. No, he didn't have that was almost like what we called a pitchfork throw with 3 fingers on the ball right there.
So with nobody out, the infield is back. And the 1-2 chased by Cruz. They throw down to first, get the out there. Holding at third is Martin.
And that's the book on Nelson Cruz. If you get ahead of him, you can definitely expand the zone and bounce breaking balls. And that's exactly what Scherzer did. And for all you kids at home that think that it's bad to strike out, you can't look much worse than that right there at the big league level. But he also has the ability to hit the ball about 9 miles.
One away now for Adrian Beltre. 1 for 2. A single. Grounded out to third base his last time up. And the infield is in now with 1 out. Ground ball to short. Peralta checks the runner. 2 away.
That's a great thing about our game. In the box score tomorrow, it's not going to say Nelson Cruz looked foolish. It's just going to say 2 for 3. Right there, he did a really good job. When you have the infield pulled in as a pitcher, you don't want to go up in the zone. You want to keep the ball out of the outfield.
2 away. It's up to A.J. Pierzynski. Had the sacrifice fly to left field his last time up. Runner on third base. 3-1 game. Top of the 5th. Pierzynski fouls the first pitch off.
And this is a guy right here. A.J. can turn on a fastball. He's one of the rare left-handed hitters that can get on top of a ball up in the zone. And if you leave it up and out over the plate away, he will drive it to the gap in left center.
0-1 fastball is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And you see now Scherzer's starting to reach back a little bit. His fastball's at 95 on the last pitch. He knows how important it is to leave that runner stranded at third.
Up to 95 pitches. There is action in the bullpen for the Tigers. Flair down the left field line. That's trouble. If it's fair, it is a fair ball. Pierzynski drives in the run. He's in a second with a 2-out RBI double. And it's now 4-1 Texas.
And that's just an emergency hack right there. Those are the ones as a pitcher that really get to you. I would rather have a ball rocketed off the left field wall than have this thing lands on the line. Good job by the third base umpire, because that'll get missed a lot of times. That landed right on the chalk.
Scherzer really can't be 2 inches further over. Instead, it's now 4-1. And Elvis Andrus, who walked and scored his last time up, steps to the plate. First pitch fastball in the outside corner for a strike. Scherzer retired 9 of the first 11 batters that he faced. Since then, you ready for this? 7 of the next 12 have reached base.
Yeah, and it's not like he's getting just pummeled. He's given up a couple of hard hit balls. He gave up the home run to Moreland, but you've had a bunch of these kind of duck snort hits.
One ball, 1 strike here to Andrus. Scherzer had a no decision his last start on the 8th of July at Cleveland. 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. He's trying to get through 5 here. Line the other way, and that will slice foul off that top of the wall. One ball, 2 strikes. Now the count here to Andrus. And that fan will go home happy, courtesy of Torii Hunter.
And we saw that pitch right there to Andrus. That's just flat out being late. He's not trying to hit the ball the other way. He's just late on the ball. I think his timing is messed up. Ron Washington said he just hasn't had anything click for him yet this year, but they're definitely expecting.
1-2, fouled back. This may seem crazy, but is there the pressure on Scherzer to keep this run going?
Oh yeah, there's always inner pressure, whether it comes from outside or from yourself. I know if I was 13-0, the only thing I'd be thinking about is 14-0, and I'm sure that's him. He's an extremely intelligent guy. He knows he's probably not going to go undefeated, but it doesn't stop you from wanting to be undefeated.
And on top of that, I mean, is there added pressure of knowing that, hey, if I make a good start here, I've got a really good shot at starting the All-Star game, or does that not even factor in?
I don't think it factors in at all for him. He's either was going to be the starter before tonight or he's not. The thing that I would like to see him do, I don't think he's changed the hitter's eyes much at all tonight. Everything's been down.
1-2 in the air, straightaway center field. Austin Jackson goes back a few steps, and that'll do it. A run in the inning. This is the inning for the Tigers as they've got 3 All-Stars coming up. Hunter, Cabrera, and Fielder against Derek Holland, trailing 4-1. Bell is sponsored by Universal Pictures' new film R.I.P.D. in theaters Friday. That's Mitch Williams driving.
That would be me going home from work.
Why are you in such a rush?
I'm always in a rush.
All right, this should be fun. 2, 3, 4 in the order. 4-1 lead for the Rangers. Holland gets to face Hunter, Cabrera, and Fielder.
And this is the 5th inning. This is where he can notch a W if he can get through this part of the order and get back in the dugout. Starts him right there. Slow curveball. That's something that I think he's added. I don't know whether it's a slow curve or he's just taking something off his slider. That's a filthy pitch right there. That slider right there, Justin's unhittable. You look at this. This is what we call a back foot slider. It starts down the middle, ends up by their back foot. That's a nasty pitch.
No balls, 2 strikes here to Hunter, who is 2 for 2. Check swing. Did he go? He went, says Tim Welke at first base. And that'll be a strikeout for the first out of the inning.
I'm always really interested in this. If the bat head crosses the plate and gets out in front of it, yeah. I think he went on that. That's how I make my judgment. if the bat head gets out in front of the plate, he offered it the pitch.
One away now for Miguel Cabrera, who's 0 for 1. Walked and lined out to right field his last time up. And that line out to right came with runners in scoring position. First pitch in the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes.
He tried that slow breaking ball again. First pitch to Cabrera on the left and down in the dirt. It's going to be really interesting to me to see how he goes at Cabrera. He's got a 3-run lead. But you don't want to just give in and give him a cookie to hit. And you see they're going with a slider again.
And Cabrera, sharp line drive past Andrews at shortstop. And that's a ball that, you know, if you speak to Elvis Andrews, he'll say, I should have had it.
I don't know. We're going to do a little pitch by pitch, and it's only pitch by pitch because there was 2 of them. First pitch, he throws a slower breaking ball down in the dirt. Next pitch, if I'm pitching, I'm going out to Anderson. You got to charge that ball. That ball is smoked. I don't know if he should have had it, Justin, or I'm not real sure I'd have dove in front of that thing.
It almost looked like it fooled him a little bit.
Yeah, it had top spin on it. And that's the thing about Miguel. He hits the ball so hard.
You mentioned the top of this game, the keys, is heart of the order. What would Derek Holland do against him? So far, he's kept them in check as he gets the first pitch strike against Fielder. Prince Fielder 0 for 1, a walk his last time up and a fly out to right.
And when you hear me talk about his mechanics, Justin, watch where he sets his hands. He's got his hands up high, and now can he keep them there and separate his hands in the same place every time?
Beltre goes to second for 1, over to first, a 5-4-3 double play, and Holland again gets through the heart of the order for the Tigers. We're through 5. It's 4-1 Texas. Sponsored by Ace, the helpful place, and by Ford and their spectacular summer sales events. We go to the top of the 6th inning here in Detroit. It's 4-1 Texas. Justin Kutcher alongside Mitch Williams, and we talked about the pitching matchup coming in. Right now, it's advantage Texas and Derek Holland.
No question, and he's made the pitches he's had to make tonight to get out of trouble. Had a bases loaded situation that could have really jumped up and bit him. Got out of that, and now Scherzer. He's made some pretty good pitches. He's kind of pitched into some bad luck, and the Rangers are putting the bat on the ball with guys on base.
Mitch Moreland, the guy at the plate, had the 2-run home run his last time up. And he takes the pitch on the outside corner. This was in the 4th inning. And Moreland going the opposite way to left center field. into the bullpen.
When you go opposite field at Comerica, you're strong.
Now, before the fences were moved in, that may have been a double.
Yeah. If I was a pitcher here, I would have been lobbying heavily against those fences not being moved.
It's pretty impressive to think about how many stadiums have been built recently and how many have had to move their fences in.
Yeah.
Here, Seattle, Citi Field,
San Diego.
San Diego.
Because the game, let's face it, from a fan standpoint, they want to see the ball hit out of the park. It's more exciting. I think it makes the game more exciting. But there's some guys, I don't care what park they're in. Yellowstone, Yosemite, Miggy, he's going to hit the ball out anywhere.
Ground ball to shortstop. Peralta played him perfectly. One away. Go to MLBFanCave.com and pledge your NL or AL allegiance. Don't miss the action of the 2013 All-Star Game. Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox. That's what's so impressive about Cabrera is you look over the course of his career, played down in Miami, now here in Detroit, and his power numbers have been there. He's never, ever played in a hitter's ballpark.
No, I was talking with Victor Martinez during batting practice yesterday, and he said it is the most amazing thing he's ever seen. He said both Miggy and Prince, had they played in like a Philadelphia or Milwaukee, they'd have 45 home runs apiece right now.
Jurickson Profar pulls that one foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. He is 1 for 2, doubled his last time up.
I mean, you think about the size of the park. I know I never changed my style of pitching depending on the size of the park. I had to do what I did. I was a fly ball pitcher. I pitched at Wrigley. It didn't change who I was or how I went about my business.
Profar down the right field line. That is foul.
And the way things have gone tonight for Scherzer, I'm surprised that didn't land fair.
Max Scherzer came into this game 13-0. An ERA at 3.06. He trails right now 4-1. Top of the 6th inning. His pitch count. Next pitch will be number 110. A no decision his last start. Derek Hollins. He's coming off a start at Baltimore when he gave up 10 hits in 6 2/3, but was able to help his team get the victory.
Well, when the Rangers get healthy, I said earlier it could be a blessing in disguise for the rotation to be injured. And what I meant by that, say they get all their starting rotation back. You're getting Agondo back, who's thrown 11 innings this year. Colby Lewis has thrown no innings this year. If you get these guys back for August and September and they're fresh and ready to go, that's a pretty big advantage.
The 1-2 from Scherzer. Fouled away again by Profar, and maybe more importantly, it means they don't have to make a move to acquire a starter.
Right.
It'll be like they're acquiring 3 or 4 starters by the trade deadline or end of August.
Yeah, and they put Yu Darvish on the disabled list. I did his game last Saturday. He didn't look hurt to me. He just looked out of whack. This is just me giving my opinion.
Pontificating.
That's a good word. That's not normally in my repertoire of words, but I really don't think he's hurt. I think it's more along the lines they wanted to give him a rest, which is not a bad thing to do.
Profar chases for the strikeout. Let's go around the ballpark and take a look at the Fox Sports 1 fan cam, where we see fans who are excited about America's new sports network, Fox Sports 1. It is coming shortly, in just about a month, August 17th. Everyone is fired up about it.
And I love what Detroit does here with the military. I think that's great.
2 outs for David Murphy. Swings to the changeup, 0-1.
That changeup, it's so hard to do what Scherzer does with it, to just throw it with that amount of confidence and locate it the way he does.
Best changeup you've seen, is it Trevor Hoffman?
No, Trevor had a good one, but anybody I got a base hit off, I'm not saying had the best inning. No, Fernando Rodney, Ryan Madsen comes to mind, Cole Hamels. These guys have unbelievable changeups, and I put Scherzer right there in the top 5 with all of them.
Murphy a 2-out single. He's now 2 for 3. And again, Scherzer just trying to get through the inning. If he can get through this inning, can his offense come back and get him off the hook?
Well, this offense is definitely built to score runs, and they can throw big innings, though. But Max has got to bear down right here and leave Murph standing on first base.
Ian Kinsler 0 for 3 so far tonight, the only Ranger player not to reach base, and he takes the first pitch fastball, first strike. Well, how about this? You know you're in good company when you're talking about Pedro Martinez from the year 2000. Max Scherzer has now opened this season with 19 consecutive starts of 6 strikeouts or more. Look at Pedro, 29.
Yeah, well, Pedro was a freak of nature too.
Talk about a guy with a changeup that was nasty.
Yeah, that was. I think that's where the Bugs Bunny changeup originated.
Oh, he threw that changeup, fastball, and curveball from the same arm angle, same arm speed. It was virtually impossible.
Yeah, absolutely, and what he did really, really well, he changed hitters' eyes, and that's one thing tonight Scherzer has not done. He's not gone up with his fastball.
Kinsler fouls it back. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
There is no question on how they're going at Kinsler, though. They're keeping everything away.
He's a dead pull hitter.
Yeah, I mean, he stands on that plate. He can turn. You can't throw it hard enough for him.
One ball, 2 strikes here to Kinsler. 2 away in the 6th.
I think Scherzer wants the slider here. Oh, he's going with the changeup.
Missing down low.
And that takes a pretty good hitter right there to lay off that pitch.
121 pitches. That's a season high now for Scherzer. And I think I'm just saying it's that you start cringing every time I talk about the pitch count.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, though, Justin. This will probably be his last inning.
Yeah.
And he's got to get out of this inning and go in and hope like heck that Tigers can score 3 or 4 runs, or his perfect record is going to fall by the wayside tonight.
And if you think about it, 13-0, he hasn't had his best stuff here tonight.
No.
And if he can get through 6, giving up 4, it's kind of like that maturation process that Verlander was talking about before.
The separator between good and great pitchers is being able to win when you have 70% of your stuff.
No runs in the inning. Derek Holland has looked good so far, giving up 1 through 5. He'll face Victor Martinez when we come back.
Royals and Indians, 17 of the first 21 home runs Jeremy Guthrie had allowed were solo shots. This is not one of those. The 22nd he's allowed this year. A grand slam by Lonnie Chisenhall, part of a 5-1 Cleveland lead. Cards and Cubs, Alfonso Soriano has homered, and so has Luis Valbuena. Matt Garza pitching well tonight, trying to improve to 5-0 over his last 6 starts. Cubs on top of the Cards 6-1 in the 5th as we get you back to Justin and Mitch in Detroit.
All right, thanks, Matt. Here, Victor Martinez will lead things off in the 6th against Derek Holland. And Matt Garza pitching well. That is perfect for the Cubs, especially if they're trying to trade him. Nice play by Beltre at third off the difficult hop. Oh, that's pretty.
Okay. You see why I think he's the best third baseman in the game, Justin? His reactions are second to none. And then gets up. Look at where the throw is.
Watch the adjustment on this hop.
Comes up with it. Makes sure he doesn't plant his nose in the dirt. And then gets up and throws an absolute perfect strike to first base. See the follow through right there? Unbelievable.
One away now for Johnny Peralta, who scored the only run so far for Texas. For Detroit, and now Peralta to left field. The wind blowing in, and that keeps that one well in play for Murphy.
And you know what? Derek Holland, his pitch count has done nothing but go down. It seems like his pitch count was getting elevated in the early innings, and he's gotten through these last few innings with minimal pitches. He's at 68 right now.
There you have it.
17, 10, 21, 11, 7, and 2 so far.
So if you're Matt Tuiasosopo, if you're a betting person, you think he's probably taking a strike or taking a pitch here?
Well, he should. And he did. Especially if Scherzer was staying in the game. If I'm Tuiasosopo, I'm going to trip walking up to the plate, step out, give Scherzer some time to get his breath. But Holland has done an unbelievable job handling this lineup so far tonight.
Tuiasosopo walked his last time up, struck out his first time up. Slow pitch right there at 74, and you could see him almost slow that arm speed down to throw that.
And that's the one thing that he's going to have to work on and change, because you could see it with Miguel Cabrera at the plate. That ball he hit hard at Andrus, Miggy recognized right away that was a breaking ball.
Double barrel action out there for the Tigers, but Conan and Al Albuquerque. 2-2. Tuiasosopo could not check his swing. That'll do it here in the 6th. A 7-pitch inning. It's 4-1 Texas. We'll return to Detroit after a word from your local Fox station. presented by Taco Bell. Here is tonight's Fox Sports 1 game summary presented by Fox Sports 1, America's new sports network, coming this August 17th. Derek Holland's 6 innings, just 1 run against this offense. Scherzer went 6, 8 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. You see what the Rangers have done with 2 outs, and Holland has kept that part of the order in check. The new pitcher into the game is Luke Putkonen for the Tigers. 101, a 2.7 ERA. He'll face Martin, who takes the first pitch for a strike.
And this is a big kid on the mound. This is the young man that was ejected a couple of games ago for throwing at Ramirez. And like I said, I wasn't surprised that he didn't hit him.
Cabrera is in at third. Martin pulls it to first. There's Fielder, 1 away. Tonight's Just for Men Auto Stop foolproof stat of the game. You ready for this? Look at this. Texas trails Oakland by 1 game. You're trying to make up ground in the standings. It's really difficult when you and the team above you have the same wins and losses on each and every night.
Absolutely. And that's the part. If I'm the Rangers right now, I'm happy with that. If I'm Oakland, I'm frustrated. Because if I'm an Oakland A, I know the Rangers have 5 starting pitchers on the disabled list, and they can't pull away. That's got to start to get frustrating.
What's frustrating right now for the Tigers is they're having a hard time keeping Nelson Cruz under control. He's 3 for 4, 2 singles, a double, a run scored. Texas coming into tonight's game trailing Oakland by 1 game. The Angels 3 games under 500. You said to me before this game, Mike Trout, best player in baseball, huh?
In my opinion. Last year, had the name of the award been best player in baseball, Mike Trout would have won it. But that V in the middle of that award, valuable, that's why Miggy won it. Because if you took him off the Detroit Tigers, they're not a playoff team. You take Mike Trout off the Angels, they're still going to finish in 3rd place. It's valuable. That, for me, is a big separator. It doesn't have anything to do with best. All around, Mike Trout last year was the best player in the game.
Beltre with that single. Back-to-back singles by Cruz and Beltre.
That's what you call back-legging the ball right there.
Jim Leyland's coming out with the lefty Pierzynski coming up. It looks like this will be it for Putkonen. Phil Kokas coming in here at the top of the 7th with 1 out.
first and second. A new pitcher into the game for the Tigers. It is a left-hander, Phil Koch. 0-5 with a 6.18 ERA, struggling in to face the lefty A.J. Pierzynski and misses low and outside with a fastball.
And this is a guy, Justin, that I can't figure out. Last year in the postseason, you can't throw the ball better than Phil Koch did. But this is his problem. He's been coming in, he falls behind hitters, and he puts himself in cripple counts where hitters can hunt a fastball. And I don't care how hard you throw it.
Pierzynski sharp one hopper to short. Peralta steps on the bag over to first, and that usually helps.
Real well done.
6-3 double play. Time to stretch him out here in Detroit. 4-1 Texas. Is sponsored by Chevrolet, Find New Roads, and by Bud Light Lime-A-Rita, and introducing new Strawberry Rita. Bottom of the 7th here in Detroit. A gorgeous day has turned into a beautiful night and a sold-out crowd of 44,061 here at Comerica. Trying, and we're hoping to see Max Scherzer go to 14-0. Instead, now the offense has to bail out Scherzer so he doesn't suffer his first loss. Ryan Pena takes the first pitch from Derek Holland for a strike.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Derek Holland needs to do. Come out and get ahead. If he's working ahead, his breaking ball is really hard to lay off.
Pena fouls this one back, quickly behind in the count, 0-2. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Rounded it to a 6-4-3 double play his last time up, and rounded out to second base his first time up. Up high, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And that right there, that pitch right there, now it enables him to go right back upstairs with the fastball in the middle of plate or bounce his breaking ball.
Holland's 1-2. Bounce the breaking ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We're going to take a look at him head to toe. You see, his hands should stop right at the word Texas on his jersey and separate. He actually carried him down a little bit too far, in my opinion, there. But he still is getting on top of the ball really well.
That's got to be hard with all that momentum coming down from behind his head to stop at the letters.
And that, to me, is what he's going to have to do in order to become consistent. Like I said about Scherzer in the pregame, Max Scherzer had the same type of delivery as we see the ground ball to second base.
One away here in the 7th. This year, Fox Sports Supports is proud to partner with Stomp Out Bullying, the leading national anti-bullying organization for kids and teens in the U.S. Stomp Out Bullying focuses on preventing bullying and all forms of digital abuse. It educates against racism and hatred, deters violence in schools and online, and helps at-risk students. To learn how you can help, please visit StompOutBullying.org. First pitch, sliders in there to Herman Perez. 0-1. Perez, RBI single his last time up. In the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike here to Perez.
But again, he came out, he got ahead of Perez, and he's basically been able to do what he wants to do with these hitters. But getting back to what I was talking about with Scherzer, he was a guy that goes over his head, but he would separate his hands in a different spot, it seemed like, every time. Now he goes over his head, and when he brings his hands back, he brings them right to his chest and separates there. Now he's separating in the same spot every time, so that's not a concern anymore. All he has to do is execute the pitch.
The 1-2 from Holland, pulled fouled on a third baseline. Look at this.
You're going to win a lot of games with a .88 ERA.
So you can tell early on if he's going to get a win or not. As he strikes out Perez. 7th strikeout of the game for Derek Holland.
And this is what being ahead does for you, Justin. You can expand the zone. This is a ball out of his hand. That ball bounces. And you see him get on top of that. The only way you get that downward movement, your fingers have got to be on top of that baseball. And that all starts with your lower half. Well, if you stay back long enough to allow your fingers to get on top of the ball.
2 outs now for Austin Jackson, who's 0 for 2. And the first pitch fastball's in there for a strike. We showed those numbers in the wins, his ERA, and in the other games, his ERA. That's been the story of Derek Holland over the course of his career. Is it a mechanical thing? Is it him being able to repeat like Max Scherzer's able to do now?
Absolutely. I mean, this is all just my opinion, but when you have a delivery like Derek's, if you separate in a different spot every time and you break your hands in a different spot every time, it is tough on a start-to-start basis to go out there and be consistent. And I don't for a minute think it's coincidence that since Scherzer has started going over his head and coming back and bringing his hands right to his chest, that he has become consistent with all his pitches, with his command, everything.
The 1-2 from Holland in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And we talked about it in the open back in 2011 in that playoffs, the LCS, the World Series. Derek Holland was lights out. I mean, if Texas goes on to win in that 6th game, very good likelihood he's the World Series MVP.
Yeah. And it goes to show you, I mean, this is what I'm talking about the flashes of brilliance that he shows. In 7 starts, in his 7 wins, .88. In his other 11, .495. That's the inconsistency. And I see it even here tonight. On the last pitch, he separated his hands down by his waist. That's what's got to change. He's got to get a consistent break point with his hands.
2-2 to Jackson. Pulled foul again. Derek Holland from Newark, Ohio. Grew up a Michigan Wolverines fan. It's his first time pitching here at Comerica Park.
Well, I'll tell you what, anybody that hasn't ever been around him, he looks like he's about 14 years old. And I can relate to him. He grew that mustache last year, which I call the football team because he had 11 hairs on each side. And I couldn't make fun of him because when I was in a Ranger uniform, I didn't shave until my 2nd year in the big leagues.
Guess what?
He punted on the mustache. I give him credit.
I can relate too. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still to Jackson. Another 2-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, staying alive is Austin Jackson.
I told Derek last year when he had that mustache, I said, you know, if you put milk on your upper lip, the cat will lick that off. But I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a strong kid? He is a strong, strong kid.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up. Missing low and inside at 95 here in the 7th inning, so it's now 3-2.
And you could see him actually hump up a little bit on that fastball. He wanted to get a little extra on it. If he got that pitch in the middle of the plate up, Austin Jackson wouldn't have been able to lay off it.
The payoff pitch missing inside, ball 4. Texas Rangers pitchers, this guy right here, Derek Collin and Justin Grimm, recently visited the MLB Fan Cave, and this is awesome. Reenacting scenes from Dumb and Dumber to help their chance of making the sequel that is currently in the works. Go to MLBFanCave.com in the coming days to watch them audition. One of my favorite movies of all time. I have always wanted to dress up with a friend for Halloween in those tuxedos.
The only thing that would keep me from doing that is pride. But I'm with you on one of the favorite movies. It's absolutely one of my favorite movies.
One of the most quotable movies the last 20 years.
Oh, without question.
Pardon my friend. He's a little bit slow. The town is back that way. Joakim Soria getting loose in the bullpen now for Texas. Torrey Hunter takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Hunter 2 for 3, 2 singles and a strikeout his last time up.
This is where Derek Collins got to bear down. He's got 2 outs, and now he's falling behind Hunter after walking Austin Jackson. You do not want to get to Miguel Cabrera.
Throw over to first base, especially Miguel Cabrera coming up as the tying run.
Exactly, because he can tie it in a hurry. As a pitcher, this is where you take a deep breath, settle down, and this is not a bad idea. You walked in, get your bearings, throw to first a little bit, and then turn all your focus to Hunter.
1 ball, no strikes to Torrey Hunter, the All-Star. Hunter trying to bunt. Holland has some trouble, gets it, and throws him out. Questionable decision right there. Holland gets out of the inning. We're through 7. It's 4-1 Texas. 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for great live sports, all the news and highlights you want, and shows and specials that only Fox could bring you. America's new sports network is Fox Sports 1, and it's coming August 17th. Here in the 8th inning, Elvis Andrus, Mitch Moreland, Jurickson Profar. Derek Holland, 7 innings, 1 run, and he's smiling because he realized I don't have to face Miguel Cabrera as the tying run.
Exactly.
Andrus takes the first pitch low and outside for ball 1.
And many people, just like you, Justin, are going to question Torii Hunter bunting in that situation. Number one, it's a 1-0 count. He knows Holland does not want to fall behind him 2-0 because Miggy's standing on deck. So he thinks he's going to get a fastball, which he did. Had he gotten it down the third baseline, he could have walked to first.
Low and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. And I understand that. But if Torii Hunter is hitting over 300, he's an all-star, you know he's going to throw you a fastball.
Yeah.
I trust him getting a hit as opposed to putting that bunt down.
I'm with you. I can see both sides of it. I understand what his thinking was, and I understand what your thinking is.
Andrus to right field. Going back is Hunter. Still going back. Makes the catch. Nice play by Torii Hunter. We talked about this Texas team and what they will do come trade deadline because all their starters. Well, Ken Rosenthal has some input on that.
Justin, Mitch, the Rangers could use both a starting pitcher and a hitter. But they're not in love with the players who are available, and they're also not as deep in prospects as they once were. Most of their better talent is in low Class A. Now, the Rockies' Michael Cuddyer is one guy who would interest the Rangers if he became available. But on the pitching end, the Rangers might prefer to wait for their starters to get healthy and perhaps load up their bullpen with another right-handed reliever.
I completely agree with what Kenny's saying. When you've got 5 starters on the disabled list, and they're quality starters, and their innings are going to be down, they're going to get them back.
Yeah.
There might not be a need to go get a starting pitcher, but I do think they could use another bat.
Mitch Moreland, the big hit in the game, the 2-run homer back in the 4th inning. Good pitch there by Phil Coke, 0-2.
And had Torii Hunter not made that outstanding play in right field on the last play, Coke could be in trouble right here. But Torii can still go get him.
0-2, chase the slider, 2 away. We'd like to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching tonight's broadcast in 175 countries on AFN, the American Forces Network. Thank you for all that you do. We hope you're enjoying the telecast.
I sit here and I look at the 2 uniforms that are on the field, and that uniform that walked out there on the field before the game is probably without question the most important one.
No doubt about it. Jurickson Profar will turn around to bat from the right side against the lefty and takes the first pitch for a ball. Going back to Torii Hunter, that catch he made in right field. What I love is Torii Hunter is one of the best center fielders of the past 20 years. And he makes that transition over to right field seamlessly.
Well, if you can play the outfield, I'm convinced you can play the outfield. I don't think Torii grew up playing one position. He's just a baseball player.
He's an athlete.
Yeah, you give him a glove, he's going to go play where he can play in the infield.
He yesterday during BP saw him pick up the baseballs and shooting them like a basketball into the little
ball bucket.
Yeah, the ball bucket. And I asked him about it. He goes, "It's basketball. I've been playing it for 17 years. Just has fun." The 1-1 to Profar. Line drive, right center. Coming in is Jackson, and now it's Torii Hunter cutting in front to make the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning work by Coke. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Texas leads 4-1.
Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. And sponsored by Ace, the helpful place. Statue of Al Kaline here at Comerica Park. Derek Collins, his night is done, getting congratulations from his teammates. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts through 95 pitches. Now Joakim Soria is the pitcher in just his 3rd game, and he'll face Cabrera, Fielder, and Martinez.
And nothing for nothing. I mean, Ron Washington's managing the game the way he's going to manage it. But I promise you, the Tiger lineup is excited. They don't have to look at Holland anymore.
1 ball, 1 strike as he spins that one in there to Cabrera, who is 1 for 2. Singled his last time up, lined out to right, and walked.
And Soria is a guy coming off of 2 Tommy John surgeries, only in his 3rd game back. A tremendous closer when he was healthy with the Kansas City Royals.
You almost felt bad because he was such a good closer, and the Royals at that time were so bad it was almost like he was being wasted.
Yeah. A lot of there's nothing more frustrating than being a closer on a team that doesn't need one. That title goes from closer to guy that pitches last.
Bottom half of the 8th inning, we now welcome those of you who are just watching the Dodgers and Rockies here at Comerica Park. Justin Kutcher alongside Mitch Williams. The Rangers lead the Tigers 4-1.
You see Miggy laughing at that 67-mile-an-hour curveball right there.
Max Scherzer started this game for Detroit. His 13-0 record on the line. He gave up 3 runs in the 4th inning, a 2-run homer to Mitch Moreland. And Derek Collins was great as Cabrera chases that one, and he strikes out. And look at his reaction. It's not often Miguel Cabrera gets fooled like that.
Well, that's a good breaking ball there from Soria. There's only been one guy in baseball ever come back from 2 Tommy Johns, and that's Capuano out in L.A. Brian Wilson hasn't been able to find a job.
Prince Fielder jams. Able to get it to drop in right field for a 1-out single. I'll be curious to see what happens with Brian Wilson. Who will sign him come August?
You know, I've heard, I mean, I don't know if this is rumor or what, but I've heard he and Dallas Braden are traveling like over in Europe together. I don't know if they're rehabbing or what they're doing, but everything I'd heard on Brian Wilson, him throwing it just wasn't there yet.
Does he still have the beard? Because if so, it'd be tough to go incognito over in Europe.
Yeah, I don't know if he still has the beard.
Victor Martinez robbed of a base hit his last time up on a very nice play by Adrian Beltre. His 14-game hitting streak on the line here. Chase the first pitch back this way. No balls and 1 strike.
And this is the part of the order. Once you get past Vmart and Peralta, then Jim Leyland has guys like Andy Dirks that he can put up there that can hit the ball out of the park from the left side. And I don't see anybody in the Ranger bullpen throwing.
Low and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Of course, they've got a pretty good closer if they have to.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Nathan, the All-Star.
Joe Nathan has been one of the best closers over the last 7-8 years. Up in Minnesota, he kind of lived incognito as a great closer. There's only one guy over that period of time that has more saves than him, and that's
Andrews. Murphy coming in, makes the sliding catch. Fielder off at first, and the ball gets away from Moreland, but Fielder will stay right there. Nice catch by David Murphy out there in left field. Andrews was going out there.
You look at the concentration here on Murph's face. He knows he's going to have to go into a slide. And the reason they go into the slide is to keep the ball eye level. And you see that's exactly what he did. And then he's going to pop up. make a strong throw is just off line. And once Prince ran all the way back from second, he wasn't going to go back to second.
That's when you're praying, go in the dugout, go in the dugout.
Bounce into the stand so I can walk.
2 outs now for Johnny Peralta, 1 for 3. And the first pitch breaking ball is low and outside for ball 1.
It's going to be curious to me because in my opinion, Soria is tipping his pitches. He's decelerating his arm a lot on his breaking ball.
Breaking ball's in there for a strike, 1-1. You see that with a lot of pitchers, though.
Yeah, there's some that it's very, very noticeable, and for good hitters, they'll pick that up.
Peralta couldn't pick that one up.
No,
and it's 1-2.
And this is a guy that used to have a mid to upper 90s fastball.
He was always one of those rare closers who had 3 pitches.
Yeah.
Fastball is up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And you can see the difference in the arm speed right there, him turning the fastball loose. There's definitely a noticeable difference in his arm speed from his breaking ball to his fastball.
Breaking ball missing, now 3-2. And with this pitch, Prince Fielder will be off at first base. Four to 1, bottom of the 8th inning here at Comerica Park. Rangers lead the Tigers after the Tigers won last night 7-2. He goes, and Peralta swings at the breaking ball to end the inning. No runs on 1 hit, 1 man left on. We're through 8. It's 4-1 Texas. Lead the Tigers 4-1. The new pitcher to the game is Al Albuquerque. 1-2, a 4.24 ERA. 21 walks, 39 strikeouts, and 23 in the 3rd inning. So faced 9-1-2 in the order for the Rangers: Murphy, Kinsler, and Martin.
Well, and speaking to Jim Leyland before the game, this guy has great stuff at times and questionable stuff at other times. There you see the 94. And Leland said sometimes you'll see 94, 95 with a really good slider. Sometimes you'll see 91 and a not so good slider. So all they're looking for from him is a little bit of consistency. He's got a great arm.
And they're hoping that consistency is the 94, 95 with a great slider.
Exactly. Because if you're going to throw 91, you better be able to throw it over a dime.
There's a good pitch.
That's a really good slider right there. 88 miles an hour with a lot of downward tilt on it. And you watch this ball. This is what you call the disappearing slider. At 88 miles an hour, it's there and then it's gone.
The 1-2. Pulled. Fielder, tough op, will flip to Albuquerque. One away. Sports' biggest event of the summer is heading to New York, and the festivities begin on Monday with a home run derby on ESPN. Then on Tuesday, the Midsummer Classic kicks off with a red carpet show on MLB Network, followed by the 2013 MLB All-Star Game at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fox.
It has become such a spectacle, the All-Star Game. They do such a great job with it. I never got a chance to be on the red carpet. Have you?
No.
I've been asked to lay carpet. I've never been asked to walk down it.
Kinsler takes the first pitch fastball outside for ball one.
And that's at 95 we were talking about.
It amazes me how many guys in the big leagues now throw 95 or above.
Well, I'm going to say that the radar gun is a whole lot different today than it used to be. You get an old ray gun out here and see how many guys throw 95 and above.
Can you use that excuse if you're driving and get pulled over? I don't think that radar gun's accurate.
Well, I can answer that because I tried it last week when I was in Texas and it didn't work.
2 balls and 1 strike and a good slider there by Albuquerque. Kinsler still the only player in the lineup for the Rangers not to reach base. 0 for 4.
And they've had a constant theme on him all night. They are staying away.
In the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike with a slider. When I see Brian Pena with that leg kicked out, I think of Tony Pena.
Oh, yeah. I think Tony was the first guy to start doing that. And that takes, number one, you got to trust your hands as a catcher. Because if you take a breaking ball or a fastball off the inside of your thigh, it's going to leave a mark.
Just missing outside for ball 4. So now every player has reached base in this game for Texas. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow for the final game of this series. Coverage begins at noon Eastern time on Fox Sports Detroit and 11:30 a.m. Central on Fox Sports Southwest. It'll be Perez against Verlander.
Joe Nathan's warming up out there in the Ranger bullpen. You got that 4-1 lead the Rangers got. And I know as a former closer, you're out there going, come on, guys, don't score.
Martin out to left field. Tuiasa Sopo over to his right, makes the catch. 2 away. So I'm just going off the top of my head right now, but Nathan has 30 saves by the All-Star break. Johnson with Baltimore has 30 saves by the All-Star break. Rivera has 30 saves by the All-Star break.
Unbelievable. 30 saves used to be a great year. The game has changed so much.
Nelson Cruz 3 for 4.
And the scary part, Johnson leads the majors in blown saves.
Right.
With 6.
You were a closer. How difficult is it to get those final 3 outs? Why is it so difficult?
Honestly, and I've said this over and over and over again, it's harder to pitch the 8th than it is the 9th. The reason being, when you're throwing in the 8th inning, the hitters have a net. They get the guys coming up in the 9th that can bail them out. You face a guy in the 9th inning, if you throw strike 1, you've got them on the defensive. They got no one behind them that can get them in the next inning. If I had to pitch in the 7th and 8th, I'd have got worn out because they'd have taken pitches. I'd have walked more guys than I walked. I didn't make a living throwing strikes. I made a living getting guys to chase balls. You got to bring consider the hitter's ego. The hitter, all of them want to wake up the next morning and read their name in the headline. 3-run homer to win game.
That was a huge break by Kinsler with a stolen base. So now he's in a scoring position with 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes with Cruz at the plate.
And Albuquerque's not paying a lot of attention. You see, I mean, Kinsler, I don't know if his feet ever stopped. And now Nelson Cruz is at the plate. You got to take your chances as a pitcher and throw 3 straight breaking balls away and hope he swings at one.
He does back up the middle, able to keep it in the infield. Perez comes home with it. The play safe as the ball gets away from Pena.
Perez made a great play getting to that, and this is a perfect example of trying to do too much. He tried to flip it to Andrus. There was no reason to. He made the play to keep the run from scoring. No reason to flip that ball.
5-1. Texas now leads. Kinsler didn't stop.
And that's going to sit Joe Nathan down, I would bet.
Still up, just not throwing. Instead, it's Kotz who's throwing. And Beltre fouls the first pitch back.
And see, I like this. I'm not a big fan of bringing your closer in a 4-1 game on the road, because if he gets in trouble, who do you bring in after him? A guy that's not a closer.
Beltre 2 for 4 with 2 singles. In the air to right field. Back is Torrey Hunter. Still back, looking up, gone.
That ball was smoked.
Adrian Beltre with his 21st home run of the year, and the Rangers have broken this game wide open in the 9th inning.
And you hear all the time analysts preach about location, location, location. It doesn't matter how hard you throw. You look at it, that's just on the outer third, and Beltre, watch his head go straight to this ball. That's just a great job of hitting right there. That sounded like a wooden ball hitting a wooden bat right there.
A.J. Pierzynski chased the slider. No balls and 1 strike.
Well, I can promise you that Nathan is sitting down now.
Well, if Adrian Beltre homers, it's usually a good omen for this Rangers team. 73-10 when he hits a home run. That's unbelievable.
Well, if he waits till they get a 4-run lead to hit a homer, that's a pretty good time to do it. Now they're going to be 74-10.
That's the best percentage over a 3-year span since Brooks Robinson. Wow. And in case you're wondering, Nelson Cruz was credited with a RBI on that ball up the middle. Not sure if you cared or not, but just wanted to let you know.
I can't believe they gave that an RBI. If he'd have stopped and just held the ball, there's no way Kinsler scores.
No balls and 2 strikes here to Pierzynski.
That makes that an earned run. Which it probably would have been an earned run anyway with the homer. Yep. See, ex-pitcher always looking for a way to get it. That wasn't earned.
The 0-2 from Albuquerque in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. All right, so Albuquerque's had the velocity. He's had that slider. What's been wrong? Location?
Location. Remember talking with Jimmy before the game? Talking about Rondon, who throws 102. But it doesn't matter up here. If you don't locate it, they're going to hit it.
This time Pierzynski chases. Pena can't find it. Now he does. And he will throw him out. Strikeout 2-3. Adrian Beltre with a 2-run home run. The Rangers, they're smiling as we go to the bottom of the 9th. They lead 7-1.
On Fox, presented by Taco Bell. Bottom of the 9th inning, 7-1. The Rangers lead the Tigers. And a new pitcher into the game here for Texas. It is the left-hander, Neil Kotz. 4-1, a 1.05 ERA. Very good numbers for Kotz out of the bullpen. And Kotz will face Tuiasosopo, Pena, and Perez due up here in the 9th. Tuiasosopo's 0 for 2, a walk and 2 strikeouts. And he takes the first pitch fastball up high for ball 1.
And all Ron Washington is looking for from Kotz, get ahead. Throw strike, see how far they can hit it.
One missing inside. 2 balls and a strike. Foul straight back. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Tuiasosopo. The 2-2. Broken back, grounded to shortstop. Andrews, 1 away. Time for the Burger King plays of the game. Burger King, where taste is king. And it was Derek Holland who was awesome.
And I can't remember if it was the 2nd or 3rd inning where he had bases loaded and 2 outs. That was the entire ball game.
It was the
3rd inning.
3rd inning.
He had an opportunity there with Victor Martinez at the plate. It could have been turned into a big inning, and he struck him out. And for me, that set the tone for the rest of the night.
And then the very next half inning, the Rangers put 3 on the board against Max Scherzer.
Exactly.
And it's looking like Scherzer will suffer his first loss of the season. Pena ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. The producer of tonight's game is Jeff Gowen. The director is Jim Lentz. The associate director is Eric Billigmeyer. And the associate producer is Andy Kavanaugh. Ground ball first base, stays fair.
Wow.
Moreland steps on the bag, 2 away.
That took a funky kick back fair. We watch this ball. That took a funky bounce right there. Look at this. That's going foul and hit and had spin on it and spun it back into fair territory.
A good night all around for Mitch Moreland. A 2-run home run. Now they play it first. And Hernan Perez will step to the plate. The technical director is Simon Benazra. The pregame show is produced by Marty Montalto and directed by Mike Martin. Our stats tonight by Ed Svita. Chopper third base, Beltre. And that will do it. The Rangers beat the Tigers 7-1, and they hand Max Scherzer his first loss of the year. Derek Holland improves to 8-4. Scherzer falls to 13-1. For Mitch Williams and our entire crew, I am Justin Kutcher saying so long from Texas. We'll send it back to the MLB studios for post-game coverage right after these messages.